No shit.
Hightailed it out of there.
Are you crazy? Don't go between them! Go between them! Are you crazy?
Welcome to my home.
Good morning. So it's another Saturday here. I've been so busy this week, and unfortunately, if you've been following along or have noticed, I didn't get to put out a lot of videos last week, and it's because my internet, which is always crap, was down for days. Like one night, it went out at 11 o'clock in the after, or went out at like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. It was gone all day. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting text messages from the internet company saying, "Hey, we're repairing your service. It's back up at 7. It's back down at 9." So the internet was just horrendous last week. It was just an awful experience. So we have internet today. See how long that works. But hello, welcome to the chat. Welcome to Saturday. I am not with it this morning, but let's dive in. So every Saturday we talk about these Saturday afternoon movies, the movies I'm going to be watching, some recommendations, some things. But here's the thing. The one here, I had to dig it out because I was like, I couldn't find my Blu-ray because it was mentioned a couple weeks ago. Somebody in the chat was asking if I had seen the movie. Absolutely love it. I can't find my Blu-ray, but I do have the VHS and I do have the HD DVD. So I will be watching it here. I'm not sure what happened to my Blu-ray, but in the trying to pack some things up because we are moving next year. Some things got put in boxes for storage, and I doubt that's there because why would I put any of the Blu-rays there? And then this is something that I had mentioned last week, but I couldn't remember the name of it, and so I had to dig it out because I absolutely love this movie. But it's Once Upon a Crime. So this is the movie recommendation. If you haven't seen this one, it's just a good old classic. This probably came out in the 80s. Yeah, well, 1992. So early 90s. But you have John Candy, Jim Belushi, Sybil Shepherd, just a huge cast here. And this is just an all-around fun film. But if you haven't seen it, there's this dog, wealthy lady owns it. There's a reward, $5,000 to get the dog back. All of these couples here are trying to get the dog back, but then the lady's murdered. And then all of these couples are suspects in the murder. Just a great, fun Saturday afternoon flick. And as we dive in, let's say hello to the chat. Hello. Let's see. Wilkie's Movies and Music. Good morning. Good morning. And Thomas DiCarlo. Hola. Hola. Well, thanks for being here. All right, yeah, so we have a lot of things to cover this morning. One of the things I actually want to talk about, I haven't like posted about this or complained about it because I was like, and when other people do it, I don't, I don't usually pay attention. But I'm not really complaining, but I just want to let everybody know because it affected it. So somehow or other, there's a mix up, and I didn't do anything wrong, but YouTube paused my AdSense. So it says, you have to fix these errors. I fixed the errors and it's fixed. AdSense says it's fine. It was just like it needed to validate my address. So I did that. It's good to go. But on the YouTube side, it's paused. So there's no super chats. There's no memberships. I actually had one of the members, no longer a member. Just I don't know if they canceled. YouTube said sometimes that happens when memberships get paused, but they haven't figured out the problem yet. So yeah, I was like, I'm not here to cry me a river and have you feel bad for me, but if you buy stuff from the store, that's how you can support me because there's no other way, no membership, no nothing right now. I don't know when they're going to fix it, and emailing them is also not as fun as I thought it would be. I never thought it would be fun, but I sent them an email. They sent me an email back saying they would look into it, and now it's been several days and still nothing. So we'll figure that out. But enough of Cry Me a River. Let's see. Let me make this bigger. I'm having a hard time reading that. Let's see. That I messed everything up. That stupid button. Okay, there we go. All right, let me make this bigger because I am having a hard time reading that. There we go. All right. Thomas DiCarlo says, how does one become a channel member? I've been clicking all over and I couldn't figure it out. I'm a product of Louisiana public education. Well, there you go. That answers it. They literally paused all of my everything. So I can't, and I don't know why, but it said that I had some errors and they needed to validate that. So it was like uploading my tax information and verifying that, and then validating my address. They sent me a PIN code. I had to punch the PIN code in, and it's all good on AdSense. But here it's not. So that's what that is. It says it's red because it's paused. So it's all good there, but not all good on YouTube. I don't know what it is. They haven't emailed me back. So the link for the store is good because that's separate from YouTube. So if you want to go to the fourth wall store and you want to buy something for yourself, that supports me. I don't get a ton of money from it, but it's a little bit and it helps. And, you can get yourself a mug, a shirt, or whatever. But as soon as this gets fixed, I'll let you guys know. Like I said, I wasn't one to like cry about it and post, but in a live stream, I feel like, it's a different kind of vibe. We're kind of hanging out and stuff. So, you can have more conversation. So I'll keep you guys updated. Like I said, I don't know what it was. Oh, you just totally answered my yes, yes. So I appreciate that, and that's really awesome. But yeah, that's it. I might the store that I use to sell the shirts, that has a membership option, and I might just do that because it's separate from YouTube. So I might just, I don't know if this continues to be a problem. I don't know what it is. Like I said, emailing them was horrible. But other than that, we had a lot of things to talk about. And this one, so this is going to come up today. We're going to talk about this, but I picked it up used at the thrift store, and it was just a fun movie. But it's coming up for 4K now, so this was great. And even though it's a Pacino movie, I might have waited on this one. I'm going to pick this one up day one now, so we're going to dive into that too. So those are those recommendations. That's all that talking about. Oh, this. So we've talked about this several times. I mentioned it a bunch. Big fan. Obviously, I got the turtle figures back there with the VHS tapes. Huge fan of the movie. Obviously, we've talked about the speculation of the 4Ks coming out. Ernie Reyes Jr. announced it by taking a picture on his social media. But these here, I hope that this right here gets added into that 4K for special features, Turtle Power. This is a phenomenal thing. And I accidentally found this at the dollar store last year, a couple years ago. And this was just a great pickup. Huge fan. And it was pretty long, I thought. 98 minutes for this documentary about the turtles. It was pretty awesome and just goes into some really great things that I didn't know about. Huge fan. And so like stuff like this I want to be added into that 4K. And this, I've had this for a while. Not super long. I think I got it last year, this year, maybe even this year. But the turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Behind the Shells. Now this one here, I haven't watched it in a little while, and it's not that long. It's only 30 minutes, but I'm pretty sure most of this is like background stuff for, there's a little bit of everything mixed in, but it's like, it feels like it's mostly like a Turtles 2 background documentary. But either way, all this extra special features, like if you remember in the 90s, like Turtle Mania was really a thing. There was a time where the Turtles had a spot in Disney World or Disneyland. Like there was a whole thing back in the night. It was so big. They were everywhere. So there's a lot of that stuff around, and I just would like it to be jam packed. Either way, I'm getting it. Like they know their audience. They're gonna buy this stuff anyway. But like, I just want so much extra stuff put into this 4K that's coming out. If it's just a regular, boring, standard release, I'll buy it, but I'll be very disappointed. Tom Stacarlo says, the folks who made Turtle Power just got another Kickstarter backed. It's going to be about the entire history across TMT, across all mediums, and it's going to be 4+ hours. Well, that is awesome, and that is something that I would back. I would definitely. Come on, it's the Turtles. I pretty much have to, I think. Yeah, that's good news. I didn't know about that. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh yeah, and speaking of the story, I know I mentioned it, and I'm going to dive right into the show. I don't want to waste anybody's time, but we did have a couple orders that came in earlier this week, and I haven't had a chance because my internet's down. Was down most of the week. I haven't had a chance to send out the thank yous. So that is actually a thing. When you buy something from the store, I send a video thank you. And it's part of the whole store program or whatever. It's just something, and then they remind me if I don't do it. So yeah, so I'll be sending those out as soon as possible. I know some stuff is shipped, So if you already got your item and you ordered something from the store, thank you. But I'll be sending a thank you anyway, and I'll tailor it to each person, and whether it's shipped or delivered or whatever, I'll have that in the conversation. But yeah, so those will be coming probably this week. My daughter's birthday is this month, so we had a whole bunch of things planned, and I actually picked up an old used projector, like an old DLP. It's I say old, and I in my head I think of like the reels and the noise and like the stuff you had in the classroom in the 90s, but it's an old DLP, so it's like 20 years old. You can still plug in like video games to it, a DVD player, that type of stuff. But I also picked up like a 4:3 square pull down projector screen, and we're gonna hook up a VCR to it because it's her absolute favorite thing to do, and we're gonna recreate like this whole very on the cheap, on the budget, like a movie theater experience at home for her birthday. So that's something I'm looking forward to. But then she wanted to go to the mall, and I wasn't going to do it. I only bought two Criterions this year. I had a lot of other stuff going in. I actually have Monday, maybe tomorrow, but definitely Monday. I have like the mid-month haul video coming out because there's already just so much that I purchased that I can't put it all in one video. I had to break it up because that thing was like 20 minutes long and a huge giant stack. But anyway, it's still recording on my end. I don't know here, but we're back. And so that was the thing. So I was just making this video talking about how I was making the video. I was talking about how we are going into Barnes and Noble. We're going to check it out, but there was nothing worth talking about. It was just kind of all picked over. All the new good stuff was just gone. It was a waste. But we ended up just going to the mall and we bought lava lamps. That's what she wanted for her birthday. And then my birthday, was like in the spring and whatever, but she decided to buy me one. So we both got lava lamps. That was just a fun thing we did this week because the internet's just been all over the place. And I just paused. I think I'm back, but like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the internet. It's just really kind of crappy. I'm looking at it over here and it's just horrible. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It says I see the live. Let's see. Uh, my internet is wonky today. All right. So we're gonna try to keep going. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna last or whatever, but thanks for being here if you're still here. And we're gonna try to muscle through this. I don't know what the hell's going on with it, but the internet's been really crappy all week long. And so we're going to dive into that real quick. That was my story. That's what was going on there. But as we dive into this, let's see. So November, so the end of this month, actually, it says it releases Black Friday. As we have this movie here, it's coming out. Let's just share this, but let's see, share. Let's see. There we go. So Slave of the Cannibal God. Now, this clearly looks like an old B movie. Looking forward to it. I like the cover. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up, but it's something I would like to check out. This comes out Black Friday. Let's see. So it says Slave of the Cannibal God 4K. It says The Mountain of the Cannibal God, Prisoner of the Cannibal God. So yeah, it's like a 3-pack. What is this? I don't know, but this looks pretty fun. Let's see. Let's check out the back. Oh yeah, that's a great cover, and that's something I absolutely miss. So, and it would make me rent this movie back in the 80s or 90s. This is something that I would totally rent based off that movie cover. Now, I don't know if I'm pretty sure this is, new art for this release, but even if it's not, that's just one hell of a movie poster. And for me, I don't have a ton of B movie cult films that I have never seen, but I would blind buy this in a heartbeat based off of that cover alone. That's something I would do. Let's see. What do we have? Let's catch up with the chat because now that it seems like I'm back, let's see. Tom says you're back for me. Good at the moment. Yeah. Oh, Blue Corner. Hey, thank you. Yeah, it's Saturday again. Yes, it is. But we have, that one I'm definitely intrigued by just by the cover. And if I could just get, If I could just get a the movie poster and the movie sucks, I would do that too. Let's see. Hold on one second. Got a time sensitive request from a child. All right, there we go. All right, um, now this we've talked about before. Now this is we talked about this when it was rumors, and also another boutique Blu-ray company was talking or was releasing this, so that was a thing. But since we have talked about that, let's see, pull this down. This one right here, huge pickup for me. Now I don't know if I'm going to go with that other version or getting the steelbook. So, we've talked about before. I don't collect steelbooks anymore, but in my top 25 favorite films of all time, if that's the only version, then I'll probably pick it up. But this one right here, I think it's a cool looking steelbook. So Willow, you know that I love this movie. I'm going to be getting the 4K, one of the versions that's available. I like the art on this steelbook, and I haven't lately. Like, there's been a lot of steelbooks that it's just been kind of meh to me. This one's not bad. It has that whole like the brown in the background, like has that leather look feel, the aged antique, however you want to say it. It just kind of for me fits it. So I don't know if I'm going to grab that one. I like the regular standard version. I don't know what I'm going to do, but the fact that this one here says Disney slash Buena Vista, and this is coming out the American version, so it's something to talk about that the Disney's putting out more of this stuff, and who's actually putting it out. I mean, there's the deal between Sony, and then there's also other people doing stuff. So just the fact that it's coming out is a big thing because there's been that whole conversation of Disney not doing physical media anymore, and this is a big one. So and obviously it is going to be the big titles. They're not going to probably dive into their back catalog. That's going to be pushed out to boutique Blu-rays, and I hope they do them because there's so many Disney titles that are stuck on DVD that are just need a restoration. But this is a huge thing. This is something I'll be grabbing. Sounds like someone's getting a steel book. Yeah, I don't know. It's possible. So I'll probably do my top 25 favorite films of all time. If this makes the cut, I would be on the fence still because I was like, I'm not 100% into that. In the premium boxes, I don't have one around that have the steels inside. I like that a lot more. But yeah, it's I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. But I have been sticking to it. Like, if I can physically go grab it in the store, that's a whole different story than ordering them online. Because that was the biggest problem is every time I was getting them shipped to the house, they were almost always coming damaged in some kind of way. But as we do that, yeah, that was an interesting one. Glad it's coming out. But then the seven's getting that steel book. But then we're talking about that today. The seven just got this. This one comes out in January, and it's the digipack. So this is what I would probably get for that. Like, I was not gonna get that. I was not gonna get that 7 steelbook. Like, I mean, I would have because I want the film, but I was also talking about like making my own custom case for it because I was like, I didn't like the artwork on it. It wasn't really a thing for me. But this one right here, the digipack, I'm all in on the 7 digipack. Even though it's a simple, plain, kind of boring cover, it's more of a premium edition, and I'm kind of a sucker for that. I talk about it all the time. But yeah, this 7, not bad. I mean, not the worst art I've ever seen. It's very simple, and I mean, teach their own. Some people like that minimalistic thing, but I like the that cult film I showed in the beginning, the Cannibal Gods one with the girl and the snake. Like, give me art. Give me like hand painted original art. That's what I want. This is I don't know. It's for me, this feels like a teaser poster. So like back, when the movie was coming out and you kind of had some inkling of what the movie was going to be, and you go see other films in the theater and there'd be this poster just in the lobby, and it'd be like coming, May 21st, 2027, and they'd have that on there, and that would just be that very simplistic and plain, not to spoil anything, but to get you excited. That's what that feels like. And so it's just kind of but as you open it, it seemed like when I looked into it, let's see, does it show that? Yeah, that's that. Yeah, it's kind of boring. But when I looked into it, it was like it opens up. It's like it's a digipack. So it's got stuff on the inside. It unfolds. Let's see. Is there an overview of this? Yeah, there it is. There it is. So that right there, I like that a lot more. You're getting a little, the art cards, the extra, or let's see, what is this? Is this art cards? Folded package interior and folded package exterior. So yeah, when it unfolds, it's got all the extra art and all the stuff inside. So it's more interesting. I haven't really got big into the digipacks and collecting those. I have a couple, but that one is probably going to be the way I'm going to go because yeah, that steelbook wasn't for me on that. Brett Madison, hey, yeah, Brett, and I did like that movie, so thanks for the recommendation. That was good. So many great Touchstone movies. I bet we never get released. Oh yeah, the fact that we still haven't had Captain Ron on Blu-ray is like I think it's a sin. But yeah, there's so many of them. I concur. It's mass 7 art. Yeah, yeah. We got that going on, and then all right. So we talked about Willow. Talked about the Slave of the Cannibal. Let's see. Here we go. This is something that's been out before, and I picked up the Shout Factory release. So I already have this film. I don't know if I'm going to double dip, but I did recently get the 101 Films Sword and Sorcerer, and I really enjoyed that. It's already on the shelf over there. But this one right here, coming out of 101 Films, so I'm not going to double dip on it. But if I didn't have the Shout Factory version, totally get this one. I absolutely love this film, and I first saw it on a Saturday afternoon. So it's another one that just kind of brings in that memory, being like a teenager. I'm like, oh, Elvira, gotta love Elvira. So let's see, share. So Elvira's coming out. It's not the first time it's been out on Blu-ray, but is this? Yeah, it looks like it. I'm just making sure. Yeah, it's a Blu-ray. So, yeah, so it's not the first time it's been on a Blu-ray, but the UK release, 101 Films, they're getting this one, and it comes out in December. So if you didn't grab the Shout Factory or you're in the UK, I know a lot of guys that watch this show are also all over the world. So if you're in the UK, that might be a better pickup for you. But it's just an overall fun Saturday afternoon film. I love the first Elvira film a lot more, but I still enjoy this one. It's still a good film, still fun to revisit, and yeah, it's mildly inappropriate. My 7-year-old thinks it's the greatest thing in the world, and the end scene. It's not, I don't think it's this one. I think it's the first one where she has the tassels and does the whole dance. Oh, my 7-year-old thinks it's the funniest thing in the entire world, and then she walks around talking about boobs all day. It's something ridiculous. But yeah, I do like that one. So yeah, that one's coming out. I don't know if you guys are thinking about grabbing this one, but surprised that this is getting a 101 Films release, because I figure most people would have picked up that Shout Select version already, and then it would have went out of print. I'm pretty sure that's still available. And that's why I say, like, I mean, obviously other boutique Blu-ray labels, they pick up stuff all the time. If you're over in Europe, you're probably not going to import stuff from America, even though it's totally worth it if you do. The thing is, I think both of them are concurrent. I think there's the Shout one is still available. Let's see. Thomas says Elvira is the best. Yes, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. What do we have here? Chan talks more movies. Do you have any movies that you're looking for on Black Friday? For me, I'm looking for the 4K of the last Mission Impossible movie. So in the past, I have had that kind of thought process. Lately, it's just been a little bit overwhelming. Like this month was so big and the physical media, buying movies, home video, whatever you want to call it. I already did my mid-month haul. And so like, and I still have more stuff coming, and the haul video will be up like today or tomorrow or Monday or whatever. But as far as like Black Friday sales go, I was really trying to get in on that imprint sale, but then between my internet being really crappy and everybody buying stuff, every time I went to go check out, the things in my cart were sold out. Like as I was checking out, it's like, oh, this is sold out, and so then it was just a very frustrating thing. It wasn't working for me, and then I gave up, and I ended up buying all the stuff that I wanted through Indicator and other places. And not that I not going to try to get those films, but obviously they're all sold out on imprint, so I'm gonna have to look for them on other places. So that was the biggest thing that I was looking forward to on Black Friday. if something pops up on Amazon, it's, something that was either in my Amazon card or wish list, but nothing like really specific where I'm like, that was too expensive. I'm hoping for a sale. So there's a few things in my Amazon wish list that I haven't pulled the trigger on yet, and it's because I'm waiting for those to go on sale. Those would be 100% day ones if the Black Friday comes through and those go on sale. That's really it. I didn't have anything specific. But then I know Vinegar Syndrome's doing a Black Friday thing, so I just got the email on that one. I might check that one out, but again, nothing that's really just at the forefront for me. Blue Corner says 101 seems to have some kind of deal with Shout. They have been doing several movies like that lately that Shout did in the US. Sadly, Elvira is one of the regular 101 releases, no slips or special or anything. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that I noticed that it was just lackluster. And it's one of those things that I think Elvira, you know, she's such a cult favorite, and like everybody all around the world knows Elvira. She was a huge staple in the 90s. Like, why doesn't she have, like a nice big premium edition? Or, and I know there's rights issues or whatever, but having both of those movies in one like big premium box set would also be, wonderful. Most people would love that. But just a separate, like individual premium edition, I don't know. I don't know if they're, no, I don't know. I don't know because they just put out the first one on 4K from Arrow Video, and that one had previously had the Blu-ray, which I didn't upgrade. I didn't get the 4K. I had the Blu-ray because the Blu-ray had a 2K scan, and I think that was just fine. It was a beautiful picture, it looked amazing, and I didn't see any reason to double dip because I had only had the I didn't have the Blu-ray forever. I think I only had it for like a year before that got announced. So it was a good pickup and an enjoyable movie, but at the same time, when they did the 4K, there was a slipcover. There was nothing crazy special about it, I didn't think. And like, I don't know if it's like paying Elvira, paying Cassandra Peterson or what the issue is, but that's something that really I think deserves a premium edition. Let's see. What do we got here? So let's see. We got that. 7. Okay, this one here, Sea of Love. So this is the one I talked about here, but that's not it. That brings up the Willow. I got to fix that link. All right, so Sea of Love. Okay, so this one is something that I wasn't really familiar with, and I picked it up at the thrift store because I knew it was coming out, and so this is something that it was an enjoyable watch. So this one, if you haven't seen it, John Goodman's in it. You have Al Pacino, and it's basically like um, kind of like a Fatal Attraction type story, like not that movie, but like that whole mindset. So Pacino, he's a cop. John Goodman, he's a cop. They're trying to track down this basically a serial killer who's you know getting with dudes and then killing them, and then they're trying to track him down. And so as they're tracking him down, you know, does he fall in love with the wrong kind of person? Is she the murderer kind of thing? And everybody's like suspecting her. He's like, no, she can't do it. It's one of those things. Great, if you want to, call it noir genre, it kind of fits there, but definitely just a great crime movie. Wonderful Saturday afternoon film. So this is something I'm going to be picking up. Really enjoyed it, and I'll keep my VHS because I do double dip on those. But yeah. So that's one I'm definitely looking forward to. And it comes out in January. So that's probably going to be a day one purchase for me. I really enjoyed that one. Let's see. We have, and then let's see. Here's this one. Now, I haven't actually purchased anything from this label here, the Cohen Media Group here, but this one might be my first. So I don't know if you guys are into the documentaries, but I am. I love documentary stuff, commentary stuff, and I would always rather have it like in the Blu-ray or in, attached to the movie because that's where I like to keep it all. But this is something that it's like a whole long separate thing itself. It's 120 minutes, and it's my name is Alfred Hitchcock, and so I don't know if it's like a docu series. Let's see, directed by Mark. Re-examines the vast filmography and legacy of one of the 20th century's greatest filmmakers, Alfred Hitchcock, through the new lens. So yeah, uh, let's see, share the screen. So yeah, it looks like a documentary commentary thing, but it's like 2 hours long. So this is something that I'll pick this up, and I've never had anything from the Cohen Media Group, but there's been several films that I've been interested in, just never pulled the trigger. So this is going to be my first. I love Alfred Hitchcock. I love most of his films. This is going to be a day one purchase, and it comes out. And I love what they did with the birds in the cover there, because I'm not the biggest Birds fan. It comes out January, so maybe not a day one because I got a lot of stuff coming out in January. But it's definitely something that's on my radar, something I want to get. But yeah, that's something I'm really interested in. And I love the Birds cover, but like when I watch all the films, like Birds does not make my top five Hitchcock films. Like Rear Window is in there. I love that one. The Trouble with Harry, that's in there. Rope is in there. So I have some others that are way ahead of the Birds, but I like the imagery that they did there. Psycho is like easily in my top five. Like so, yeah. Like Birds doesn't even come close, I don't think, but still a good image. I love that cover, and that's something I'm really going to be getting. Let's see what else do we have. This is something that I completely missed out, but I like Samara Weaving and Azrael. So this is something that's coming out of Shutter Films. I don't know if you guys have seen this one or anybody can comment on it, but I didn't even bother to look at the trailer. I just saw Samara Weaving attached to it, and I was like, "Oh, this has got to be a day one for me." So this one also comes out in January, and it is called Azrael. So originally, when they announced it, I didn't even give it a second shot because I was like, oh, this is probably like a B movie or a TV show. I didn't even know what it was about. But again, as soon as I saw Samara Weaving, I was like, I gotta get it. So big fan. I haven't even bothered to look at the trailer. So what is this about? It says in a world in which no one speaks, a devout female led. Oh, maybe not. A devout female led community hunts down a young woman who escaped her imprisonment, recaptured by its ruthless leaders. Azrael is due to be sacrificed to pacify an ancient evil. Okay. So it sounds kind of interesting, but like any of those times where they like promote like female led, I'm always just like, there's suspension of disbelief. It just goes out the window. I was like, I don't know any woman that could change a tire. And then you always have these women led things where they're doing all this like crazy stuff. At some point, it's got to be believable a little bit. I only say that because I live in a house full of women and none of them can change a tire. Blue Corner says, I liked Azrael. You know where to watch it if you want. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I'll check it out. Yeah, but yeah, it's something that obviously intrigues me, but I hate when they promote it like that. It's just kind of it seems like it's always like off-putting. Like if it was the other way around, they're like, oh, we're making this movie and it's an all-male lead, or all-male led movie. It just kind of it's like weird. It's the same thing as going like, hi, my name is, and instead of introducing yourself, you're like, I'm a coffee drinker. It's just weird. It just comes across weird. Yeah. But anyway, I digress. So this one here is another one that it's a one that I missed, but it's something that Imprint put out, and then it sold out a while ago. I completely missed out on it, but now Kino Lorber is putting out for their Cult line, and it comes out in January. So let's share this. So this is another one that I mean, clearly it looks like it's going to be a hard R. It's one of those ones that you pretty much get what the movie's about just by the name of the movie, and it's horror. So this is coming out in January from Kino Lorber. It's on their Cult line. Something worth checking out, I think. But at the same time, like, how often am I going to watch this? Even though I'm trying to collect as many Imprint films as I can, I still haven't got that one because, again, it's like one of those like, when am I going to watch it? How often am I going to watch it? It seems like it's an entire sex movie, and it probably is, but like, it's like one of the. Never been in a rush to add it to the collection, and at $30, it's definitely not a day one. So I missed out on the Imprint one, but if this was on sale through Kino at some point, I would probably be interested in that. But right now, it's worth talking about. I don't know if anybody's seen that one, but it's another one of those things that I think it's just to the subject matter alone. It's one of those ones that probably there's a few people that have seen it, and then the majority of everybody else just kind of passes on it. But this one I am excited for, and I purposely did not see this one. I was waiting for the release because I'm just going to buy it. This one comes out in January. I saw the trailers for this, and it is the Saturday Night Live movie there. At first, when I heard it, I'm like, I don't want this. I think it's going to be dumb. But then I saw the trailers and I was like, and it just all the trailer did was remind me of the old Saturday Night Live stuff I grew up watching, all the reruns, stuff with Jim Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, like I think the absolute best time for Saturday Night Live. So this is something that I'm going to be picking up, and it is this one right here. So it is Saturday night. This one comes out January 7th. Just a Blu-ray. I think that's all you need. But at the $32 price tag, and I understand that that's the pre-order price, and we're expecting this to be like 25, 27. But even at that, $27, I think for a Blu-ray, it's hitting up at that higher price point. Like I'm thinking 21 to $24 for a Blu-ray is probably where I like to see them. But this is something also that I want it. I do want it, and so I'll probably be getting this one day one. Either way, if it's not a day one, it'll be getting this. I will get this one soon. So that's something I've been very interested in, but I don't want to watch it ahead of time. I just want to buy the movie and enjoy it the way it is. So that's one. I don't know if you guys have seen that one, but something I've been interested in because, like I said, as soon as I saw the trailer, all I did was just revisit a lot of those old episodes. You can find a ton of those on YouTube, but then I have some of the best of, like Dan Aykroyd, the best of Eddie Murphy. I have those DVDs from Saturday Night Live, and then I have the whole first season. I think I do. Yeah, right here. I have the whole first season on Saturday Night Live. So revisiting that has been really fun. So I'm going to dive into that movie. Brent says Saturday Night was really good. Great job with the casting too. Yeah, that was the other thing. Like, I did not expect it, and it's something that I talk about all the time, which I think it gets overlooked. Anytime, let's see, Brent says I immediately watched the very first episode of Saturday Night. Right, exactly, because that's what it's about. It's about the first episode, right? But when they do sequels or prequels or stuff, and then they have to recast an actor, and then they don't look like the original actor, or they don't act like the actor. It's very frustrating, and that was my whole thing with that Solo movie, Han Solo. So I was like, first of all, this whoever they cast has to act like Han Solo, but then he also has to act like Harrison Ford. And one of Harrison Ford's things is the finger. He uses it in every single movie. And so you have to take on that persona, and it's a harder thing to do than most people think. But then also, just that looking like them. So I saw the trailer and I felt the same way. I felt that they did a top-notch job. It seems like out of the blue, all of a sudden Hollywood's, cared about a story, and it was just kind of enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to that one. Looking forward to that one. Let's see, what do we have? That one, and then here's another B movie, and I watched the trailer for it this morning, and oh man, this is something that it is schlocky B movie stuff right out of the 70s. And it's on my radar again. It's not a day one for me, but it's something that I might pick up. Definitely on a recommendation. If you guys recommend it, it's one of those things that I'll put higher on my list. But I'm more intrigued enough to watch it on like Tubi or Crackle or one of those like free streaming services. Let's share the screen while I ramble about it. But this is something that it's coming out, and I love the fact that they're restoring all these old films. It's really fun. So this one here, Invasion of the Bee Girls. This is something that's coming out in January as well. Now, again, it's not a day one for me, but after watching the trailer, I love that stuff. I love B movies. I love 70s cinema. Huge fan of this. But this one here, these girls, they start sleeping with everybody, and then they're also killing them. And so, so it's one of those things. The cops are investigating it as you're watching the trailer. It's typical like 70s dialogue where it's not great. And yeah, this is something that total Saturday afternoon movie, but it's on my radar. Definitely not a day one, but fun enough. Fun enough. And Cinema Dave, hey, thanks for coming in. Good morning. Good morning. Great guy. Love that guy's channel. Let's see. What do we have? Let's see. So yeah, that's one I actually am really looking forward to. And then this is something that this is probably going to be another one. So this one comes out in February. So this is definitely a February purchase, day one, and something I want to get. It's coming out of 88 Films. Let me share the screen here. So it's coming out of 88 Films, and it's a Jackie Chan movie. Now, I'm not the biggest Jackie Chan fan. Like, I mean, I am a Jackie Chan fan, but like, I don't have all the films. I don't have all of his, Chinese cinema. I don't have all those films, but I love the American stuff. I love Rush Hour. Big fan. I do have the Drunken Master film. I have that on DVD. I got a Jackie Chan VHS tape somewhere. Like, so I have some of the China cinema stuff, but this one right here, a day one purchase. So Dragon Fist, I love the cover art on this. It's a 4K, and this is something that I know nothing about other than Jackie Chan, and I love kung fu. I love that kind of cinema. So this is something that for me, I love that. I love the art. I love everything they did about that. Yeah, that's going to be a day one for me. So yeah, I've talked before. I missed all that Shaw Brothers stuff. I missed all that, but I would like to add more kung fu into the collection, and for Saturday afternoon. So that's a day one purchase. Super fan of that one. Thomas DeCarlo says, "I know you have VHS. Do you collect any Laserdisc?" Oh, I would, but I've never found any. Never found any Laserdisc, but I do have these CEDs. So this is basically a vinyl record is in here. You put it in, it's just kind of, you put it in, it takes the disc out, and then you take this out. The disc is in the machine and it plays. And I had a player, but it didn't work, and it was something that it was just easier to look for one that worked. But I do have a Betamax player coming. It's being shipped right now. I bought it broken, and so I'm gonna go get that one fixed. So we'll figure out that journey because I have Yellowbeard and Batman on Betamax. So I am starting to collect those. I have not found any Laserdisc, but I would love to. I love the big format. And so that's why I have a bunch of these. I have a lot of them. Usually you can see them. They're on the floor. I have vinyl record stands. So I do displays on the floor. I usually have one on my 4K player downstairs. I usually have one. Right now it's Star Wars, but during Halloween, the spooky season, I got a bunch of horror ones. I kind of switch them out for. So even though I haven't been able to enjoy them and watch them, I've been able to enjoy them because of the bigger artwork. Let's see. Oh wow, I haven't dipped my toe in CED yet. Yeah, I have probably about 18 of them. And the thing is, CED, a lot of the movies had two because the movies are so long, you can only fit so much on a vinyl record, apparently. So I have a couple of those. I have a couple that are two movies, but it's like it's two discs, but it's like it's one movie. So Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that was a two disc. Godfather, two disc. So yeah, I have a bunch of those. I have the Star Wars. I have you can't see it, but right there I have American Werewolf in London. So I have a couple of those. I'd like to get more. But in that, I'm really just trying to get my absolute favorites. So I have some in the pile that I found that I'm probably not going to keep because they're not my absolute favorite movies. But I have Cujo. I have fun stuff, but it's definitely like more of a display piece. Hey, good morning, Frank. Hey, thanks for coming in, buddy. Uh, Cinema Dave says, I love laser discs, though I only have a few. Yeah, it's something that growing up where I grew up, and still, like, I have never found one used, but where I grew up, it was in upstate New York where I grew up. I always heard about laser disc. People talked about it, but they didn't have any in stores where we were ever. and I didn't know a single person that had Laserdisc. It wasn't until I became an adult and I started collecting movies and stuff, and talking to other movie collectors and other people that grew up in the 80s. And there have been a few that I've talked to that actually had Laserdiscs growing up. And so there's that. But yeah, it's just something that it feels like a giant money pit. So if I start getting them on eBay, and I have purchased some stuff on eBay, but most of everything that I find used I sourced locally, local thrift stores and that type of stuff. But other than that, I have some of my top-notch favorites. Like I got the Halloween Blockbuster VHS that I got on eBay and stuff. So there's certain things I will, but I feel like Laserdisc, I would want to get all my favorites. And I do want to get, I'm trying to collect all of the versions of Leon and the Fifth Element. I've talked about that enough. I think you guys are probably sick of it. But those ones I'm going to get. The Japanese laser discs I have my eye on. So those I will get. But like other than that, I'd be like, oh, I got to get Howard the Duck. I got to get Star Wars. And then very quickly it turns into like a never-ending money pit if you can just order it all online. And I was talking to another friend of mine last night. He was talking about the PSP UMD movies, and I have two of them. But then it's another thing. He said, "Oh yeah, there's like a website that has a list of every single one of them," and I'm like, "That's just a never-ending money pit. If you have an actual like shopping list, if you're like, oh, I want all these movies, then you just go to eBay. You could get into trouble real fast that way." So I have enjoyed finding my stuff used, but I would love to get into Laserdisc. Thomas says, I'm military and stationed in Japan at the moment. I'm able to find a lot of laser discs for under $1. So my new obsession has started. Well, uh, I was in the military. I'm not anymore, but my wife still is. And Thomas, you should follow me on social media and we should have conversation, because I would gladly, if you find some like really cool, like some of my things that I've been looking for in Japan, I would totally pay you to ship that to me, because there's been stuff, but like the prices start to get a little astronomical when you start importing that way, and especially in the used stuff. But yeah, that's something, because I know I got the Japanese Leon VHS tape. Now, if you know anything about Japanese electronics, they're NTSC, so the VCR tape will play in our VCR players just fine. But the thing is, it was $50. So it's just like, I want it, I need it, but yeah, definitely would. That's one of the places, like if my wife had gotten stationed in Japan, I would go in a heartbeat. Yeah, in a heartbeat, just to buy media, just to buy media. But yeah, some place I've never been was Japan. I was stationed here in Virginia, and then the only places I ever got to go to were like the UK and that side of the world. I went to Israel and all that stuff. So I've been over there, but never on the other side. Yeah, but yeah, the laser discs for $1. Jealous, definitely jealous, definitely jealous. But as we dive into all that, oh man, I just want to talk about laser discs and damn, going to Japan. Sidetracked me, sidetracked me. All right, so we got that. February, so that one comes out in February, and then Indicator announced their February releases. Now, I know that not everybody's into some of these older films, and I think that's what they announced. But I have my Indicator order coming, because the Richard Pryor set. So it's the Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder 3-pack movie box that it finally got released. So I have an order, and I have a bunch of other things in there too. So I know I grabbed Ghost of Mars, and there's a few things, we'll talk about that when I get it. But that just shipped. I'm super excited about that one. And I like Indicator, and I think that they're an underrated company. So it's something that I'm really into. And as we dive in, it looks like everything that they just announced are some of those older films, and none of them I'm familiar with. So there's stuff that I would definitely check out, but nothing on my radar where I'm like, I need it day one. But uh, definitely worth talking about. So they announced all of their stuff. So just to dive in. So the first one here, Queen Bee, is region locked to region B, region locked, and region locked. So everything here is region locked. But I have a region free player, and that's why I recommend to get one, because you're able to get stuff like this. But why I wanted to note this was what they do here in this top banner here. where all the colors are right here up the top. As far as I understand, that's their version of limited edition. So when this one's all gone, it's all gone because their standard editions, well, it seems like they all are like this. Yeah, let's go to the indicator website. Indicator. Yeah, so it looks like those are all limited editions. Let's see. Let's see. Share the screen. All right. So this one right here. So this is their website, and anything that's like this, where you have the space between the color, the indicator logo there and the top of the Blu-ray, and you can see the Blu-ray case up here. That's a regular version. They're going to have a bunch of them. But from my understanding, these ones here are all how they do their limited edition. It says LE, so limited edition. So anything time you see it like this is the packaging for limited edition. And again, this is an old Gary Cooper movie. Maybe it's not for you, but I do like the movies from the 30s and the 40s. So I might be checking out some of those ones. But my one of my biggest recommendations from here was Bingo Long and the Traveling All Stars and the Motor Kings. This was just a very fun film. I had never saw it before. It was a blind buy, but I bought this based on the fact of the cast. So in this one, you have Richard Pryor, you have James Earl Jones. Just a great film. You have Billy D. Williams. I really enjoyed that one. So that's one that I highly recommend. And it says pre-order, but I don't know if they went out of print and then they brought it back or whatever. But I have this through them, so that's a big one. It says pre-order. When does it get released? I don't know, but it says pre-order. That's a weird one. But anyway, that's one I highly recommend from that company. Big fan. Big fan. Blue Corner says, you are correct. The full image is limited with reversed cover. Standard version is regular size covers with images of the indicator release on the inside. Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's why I always assumed, because I have a couple like that, and I don't even remember if I even noticed that it was a reverse cover. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, because I was like, sometimes I was like trying to do everything off the top of my head. I can't remember everything. Can't remember. Yeah, that is, if you don't have a region-free player, that is kind of unfortunate. All those movies are region locked, but you can get a region-free Blu-ray player for as cheap as $100. So that's something, if you're really getting into collecting movies and importing stuff all over the world, something I highly recommend diving into. And then the last thing is, now I have this on Blu-ray, and it is actually a bootleg. So it's a bootleg that I found, and it's something that I haven't got rid of because I enjoy the movie. But as soon as I was able to get like a 4K or something, it's totally leaving the collection. I'm throwing it in the trash. But this is a movie that I'm really looking forward to, and the conversation comes up all the time. And people have had it, people have their opinion, and whatever your opinion is, totally fine. For me, more comedies on 4K is best, because the reality is it's about film restoration. So no matter what, if they're putting these movies on 4K, they're preserving them, they're saving them, they're putting them for the next generation. You might have it on Blu-ray, you might have the movie on DVD, but new people get into collecting all the time, and so just having a new version of this movie, I 100% love it. Now, this is something that it's considered a comedy, but as I watch it, it's not like your typical Chevy Chase, like laugh out loud, dying laughing comedy, but it's not serious either. It's one of those things. It's kind of like a Saturday afternoon offbeat kind of comedy movie, and we're talking about Foul Play. So this is a Chevy Chase, Goldie Hawn film, and let's see. This is something that, she's kind of a boring lady, and then there's like an assassination plot, and she's kind of in the middle of it. So this is something that it was just a fun Saturday afternoon film. I've had it in my collection for a while. I've had this bootleg copy of it for a while. So the Kino Lore was putting this out on 4K. This is going to be a day one purchase for me, and it comes out early 2025. Absolutely love Goldie Hawn, especially Goldie Hawn in her prime. I mean, I still think she's probably funny now, but Goldie Hawn in her prime, oh, I was such a big fan. Sugarland Express was, a great film. But any of her comedies, like one of my favorites was Bird on a Wire with Mel Gibson. That's a great film. But yeah, so this is something I'm going to be picking up day one. Love those two. And then there's another one, and I have the CED of it, but it's with Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase as well. And that's how I ended up finding this because that's what I was trying to figure it out. Let's see. It was. All right, let's see. It was. What's this other one I'm thinking of? This is Chevy Chase film. It's freaking awesome. Goldie Hawn. So this was. I mean, there's like so many good ones that I like. Um, Back in her prime. So you have Overboard, great movie. Wildcats, great movie. Swing Shift, I still need to see. Here it is. I have this on CED only. So I've seen the movie a bunch of times, but I've never owned it in the collection until I have the CED, and then I have no way to watch it. And it seems like old times. Now, that is a great film. And while I'm into Blu-ray.com, let's see if it has available, because maybe I'll just buy it today. Let's see. So that's why I originally got Foul Play, because I was like, oh yeah, so no Blu-ray yet, so there's clearly a DVD. But yeah, this is something that absolutely top notch. That is a really really fun film. So if you've never seen Seems Like Old Times, Chevy Chase, he's and Goldie Hawn, they're exes, and these people come to kidnap Chevy Chase's character to force him to rob a bank. And then Goldie Hawn's is married to like the local district attorney, who's now trying to find him, who also knows who he is because it's his wife's ex-husband. And so that is a great thing. And then the whole time he's hiding in their house. So that right there, I thought was just, it's one of my absolute favorites. And I love this one. It's a very underrated Chevy Chase Goldie Hawn film. But then that one's a lot better than Foul Play. But I think Foul Play is very good as well. So yeah, just let's see. Just wild that that one doesn't have a Blu-ray, but Foul Play is now getting a 4K. So that's just a wild one. Let's see. Foul Play by have Paramount Blu-ray. It's pretty cheap at the moment. Yeah, Foul Play is pretty good. It's a good one. Let's see. Tom Scarlett, see you in the DM. IG. Oh yeah, brother. Okay, yeah, no problem, brother. Let's see. Brent says, I just watched that 2.5 hour documentary on the Blair Witch from the new box set. Was excellent. Also watched the festival cult a cut of that film, and I can confirm it's region locked for sure. Yeah, that's one of those things that region locking when you're importing stuff. Yeah, I get it. But just get a region free player. You'll be all set. Now, that's something here. Now, I know that there are huge fans of the whole genre. So like the movies, like here's the movies that I don't understand. And if you like them, enjoy. I'm glad you like them, and I'm glad they're out there, but they're just not for me. And so there's no judgment, but I don't understand the Paranormal Activity movies, the found footage films, like those films. I watched them. I watch them all, and I don't get them. I don't like them. They just don't sit right for me. And I remember Blair Witch specifically, like everyone was super excited about that film. And I remember I was a kid, I was a teenager at the time. I remember I was working at McDonald's, and everybody that day was either coming or going from the Blair Witch, and they were super excited. And then every single person had to talk about it too. Like it wasn't just like they're getting their food, they're talking, they leave. And no. Every person. I remember I was working the register. I was I was like 14 or 15. I don't remember when it came out, but I was younger. And everybody would have like a 20-minute conversation of how the movie was real. And they were all trying to tell me it was real. And I was just like, I don't think it's real. I think it's a movie. And then I went to see it after all the hype and everything. And I was truthfully, I was excited. I was looking forward to it. And then I left, and I didn't get it. I don't get the found footage films, but if you love them, totally, I'm glad you love them. I really am. But yeah, Blair Witch is one that everyone got excited when it got announced, and I didn't buy it. I didn't like it when I saw it in theaters. I watched it a couple times after. I didn't like it then, and it's the same thing for me. So like those films, I don't love them, but I also don't like the disaster films. Like a disaster film is fine. I like those a little bit more, but they're a one and done. Like I don't see the rewatchability in disaster films. But other than that, yeah, the Blair Witch stuff. Glad you liked it, and I'm glad that he put all that effort into those box sets and the documentary and all that stuff. That's really cool. Let's see. Brent says, "Seems like old times." Oh, I already read that one. That was what it was. Uh, is WB still doing an Ultimate Collector's Edition for 7? No, as far as I understand, it's all scrapped. As far as I understand, like the whole thing is just gone. Which is then there was that Steelbook conversation. I'm not into the Steelbook, but then this digipack was just announced. So I think that's like the knee jerk reaction to people complaining about just the Steelbook only. That's what we're getting. So I'll be getting that version of it. But yeah, as far as I understand, 100% like that big premium edition box set is just out the window. And I don't know if it's because like the cost, because I understand that there was problems with, from what I understand, I mean, they were saying that there was like restoration problems or there was like something about it. There was something about the restoration because like, as you listen to, the directors talking about it, he's saying, what was he saying? He was saying something like, basically I feel like he was trying to tell you, hey, this is going to be film grain heavy, and there's because it was saying stuff, it was just very vague, but it was like there's imperfections in the film, and it shows on 4K, so there was stuff about the restoration I think maybe went over budget. It's probably why we're not getting that big giant premium box set, but I don't know. But as far as I understand, that's all out the window, and that's very disappointing because 7 is a film that probably makes my top 25, and to have like a nice premium box set, something for the shelf, 100% all day is what I'm really into. So, yeah, it was a little disappointing. And then when they did the Steelbook only, I was definitely disappointed. So, this Digipack, I think, is the best option that we're going to get. And that's the version I'm going to get. Cinema Dave. Speaking of disaster films, look like Kino Lorber might be releasing an Airport 77 4K. Okay, but let's see. I think that's a different thing. Let's see. Let me double check because it's been a while. It's been a while. So let me see. Let me see if we're on the same page for Airport 77. But Airport 77 might be a different thing. Like, so disaster films like Twister, Dante's Peak, um, they've always been like a one and done. I thought they were fine films, but like I've never wanted to revisit them. I've never seen Dante's Peak ever again. But my wife loves Twister, and so that's a movie that I watch more than I've ever wanted to in my life. But even then, I kind of make sure I'm busy when she wants to watch it, so I catch bits and pieces of it. But then when we got the 4K, I rewatched it because everyone was talking about how the Atmos was so great, and I was like in the beginning, but other than that, I don't know. So Airport 77 though, like some of the ones that are kind of disaster films, I might be into. Let me see this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Art thieves hijacked and the crash into the ocean. Yeah, 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 yeah. That one because you got the heist element. Anytime you have like stealing something, heist movie, a con job, like I'm all in. So yeah, Airport 77. That's one I'll pick up. Yeah, that's one. It's been a long time since I've seen that one. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, it looked like they're yeah. I don't know when they're releasing it because I did not hear about that one. But was it on like their social media, like with something like with the this is coming next year kind of thing where it was they're doing it, they announced they're doing it, but no official tentative date? Because I didn't check my Twitter this week. My internet was in and out all week long, which was just kind of crappy. But let me go here. Yeah, that's something to look forward to. And then I do want to wrap it up. I've been going for about an hour. So if you guys have any last minute questions before I wrap it up, it always takes a second for the live to catch up. But I will be wrapping this up soon because I hate to end it and then have people asking stuff and I'm like, oh, I missed it. But we're going to end this very soon. But as we dive into Twitter, let's see. Let me just see what they have because I missed it. Yeah, because they did a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to. that they announced. So where they didn't really officially announce it, like Summer Rental's coming out, or I'm super stoked about that one. Let's see. Oh, they got one. I don't see that one, but they just announced coming January 14th. Is this Burl Ives Rock Hudson thing. And I'm not super versed into all the Rock Hudson films. I mean, obviously I'm familiar with the controversy. I grew up in the 80s. But yeah, Rock Hudson, the Spiral Road. Didn't know about this one. This was just on their announcement now, so it's coming out soon. Looking forward to that, I guess. But yeah, I've not really been into um, super well versed into the Rock Hudson films, but my absolute favorite one is Man's Favorite Sport. If you've never seen it, I think it's just an absolute top notch comedy. Kino Lorber put one out not too long ago, but there's another company had one out, so it's had a couple Blu-rays. But Man's Favorite Sport is one of my all-time favorite comedies. It easily makes my top 10 favorites of all time. And I think he's top notch in it. But if you've never seen it, so it's a back in the day, Abercrombie and Fitch wasn't like a teeny bopper clothing store. It wasn't for like teenagers and stuff. It wasn't that. It was a hunting and fishing store. It was like Dick's Sporting. It was a sporting goods store, and they sold all these like fishing rods and all this stuff. And so his character, he works in the store, but he also like writes these books. He's like a master fisherman. Everybody goes there, they buy all the stuff, based on his recommendations, but he's a fake. The entire time, he's never been fishing. He's not an outdoorsman. He's not like your typical man's man. And I mean, there's that joke in there. But as he goes up, these girls, they're writing for a paper. They want to get him up there to do this contest, but he can't tell everybody he's a fake. He tells them, and so then they help him out. But the entire movie is just one of my all-time favorites. And so that right there, I started getting interested in a little bit more of the Rock Hudson films. But that one so far is still my absolute favorite. Yeah. So there's that one. Um, let's see. Summer Rental is a fun one. Yes, Summer Rental is top notch, and that's one that I completely missed. So when like I said before, my wife does not like movies like I do. We have almost 3,000 movies here, and in that collection, there might be 100 films that she tolerates, and she might have 10 that she absolutely loves. And so, Summer Rental is something that I completely never saw when I was a kid. I missed it altogether, which is crazy because I was like raised on television, and John Candy movies are just, my absolute favorite. So she actually was just randomly saying, I missed that movie and I want to watch it. And so I had to track it down and find it for her. And we found it on VHS, and I had been watching it ever since. One of my absolute favorites. And so they announced that that's a day one purchase for me. Absolutely love that film, and glad it's getting a restoration too. Delphi Rivera says, "Just bought the Columbia Volume 5, the Classics Volume 5." Yeah, let me know how you think about that. I just haven't done it because I've said before, it's like it's a big box set. I got to get them all, and I don't love all the films in there, but I do like a lot of the films. And so also there's the double dip factor. So like there are some of those films that I already have. Obviously not the 4Ks and not the upgraded stuff, but I have some of those films already. And so to double dip in this big box set, I just haven't done it yet, but I might. I think I feel like I have to. Thomas DeCarlo says, "Missed out on your Halloween merch, so but just snagged a mug for my Saturdays." All right, all right. Well, there'll be more merch on next Halloween, and I got some Christmas merch now. And actually, my internet's been good this weekend. There's going to be more stuff coming out, so there's going to be more Christmas merch for that too. But then the designs on Halloween stuff, like that stuff's still available. So like the boob tube shirts. And that's the one thing that YouTube always tells me is like inappropriate. We can't put this on your shelf. Is I call these boob tube shirts because it's in a TV. And we used to call TVs boob tubes back in the day. So it's a play on that. And they keep saying it's a sexual shirt and I can't sell it. or they won't promote it. So it's just like, oh, thanks, Google. It's just it's not that. It's literally these. And so that's the whole line because I wanted to do something different. So I was like, that's what I did. But yeah. No, I appreciate it. Thank you for getting the mug. But yeah, next Halloween, more stuff will be. I just did a limited run on those because they were limited edition. But that design with Nosferatu, I'm gonna do something else with that design. So those shirts are just gone. Those colors are gone. But I'm gonna do something different with that. Maybe not a shirt, but we have the opportunity to make everything like blankets and mouse pads. Like I could make anything, and it's all print on demand. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's yeah, if you want it, I can make it. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Uh, let's see. Dolfo Rivera says amazing first is going to be on the waterfront. Hmm. Uh, on the waterfront. What is that one? Um, did I miss it? On the water. Oh, with Marlon Brando. Okay. Oh yeah, that's got a Criterion. It looks like. Yeah. That's something that I would check out. Now, that's also something I love Marlon Brando, and my introduction to Marlon Brando is, it's literally Superman. So that's my introduction to Marlon Brando. But I've seen some of the films, all growing up, but it was never really at the forefront. And I think it was that whole controversy with Last Tango in Paris. Like, so I think that's the reason. Like, my mom and my dad were like not really big on Marlon Brando films. Like anytime we talked about maybe renting one in the, even Godfather, like it was just like, nah, they weren't, I don't know. I don't know. They had a thing against Marlon Brando. So I'm trying to get the imprint Marlon Brando boxes. And so that's something that it's on my wish list for Christmas. It's something I want to try to grab. But yeah, getting into some more of those Marlon Brando films, looking forward to that. Thomas says, your product is too sexy for YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, they literally said there was like problems with it, and it said I don't know if I can if it shows up on here, but when I went to do it, yeah, no, it doesn't show up on here because it's telling me everything's paused. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that gets fixed soon. But yeah, it was saying 40 products in your store are not appropriate for YouTube. And I was like, oh, okay. So they're only promoting on the store shelf like the mug and the a couple of the holiday stuff. But yeah, after that, thank you for getting stuff from the store. Appreciate that. It was a fun hangout, guys, today. But I gotta go. It's been over an hour. I know I got to get my kid, going and do some family time. Looking forward to that. But my internet's been back. I got a lot of stuff working on. I'm gonna have more Christmas stuff this week in the store and more videos coming out. Hopefully this week. But I know I have something uploaded already. So even if I have to go outside and use my phone to get internet to press go on it, that one's good to go. But with that, remember to watch a movie today, and I'll catch you guys next time.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.